charge the yin.
And beginning now, we put in place the intention to have a teaching on religion.
That in the Indian, Perang also Shujo that Chutan Tambu di Nala, and also the Jela Mazunga, the Lamzu Namba Simga, Tony Marat, the Chuchat Shakins.
So in the first session this afternoon, I will be teaching on the 3 principal aspects of the path by Jie Tsongkhapa.
Then also Sholola Yunkan, the Bobatsu Ina, the Nita Chunta Tola, the Shori Meba, Shini, the Nita, also Satya Ina, Yamayana, Gilugina, also Boka, the Lama Gang, Peviona, Sama, the Shori Meba Tone. 어디니 다낭 지야다다 출입 상말았다 봐야 보지야 때 가르친 모레스.
For Tibetans who come from or live outside Tibet, it's really important that you approach all the religious schools of Tibetan Buddhism with pure vision and give rise to and have faith in all of the schools of Buddhism without any kind of sectarian prejudice.
Then also book nangla then is some tambayna the jantar then the shorinda so Shetang Logi Tola Samotana, Nepa Maris, your the Yinayo, Tartati Sope, Shikchishung Royo, your Rezipokanala.
In terms of the situation inside Tibet with regards to sectarian prejudice, even though this clearly existed in Tibet's history, inside Tibet these days this kind of prejudice is really decreasing strongly.
And
if we look at things objectively, then actually there is absolutely no reason for us to have sectarian prejudice. And the reason for this is that great teachers such as the Venerable Atisha and Tsongkhapa and Guru Rinpoche are all considered emanations of the one person. This is something that many lamas have taught. And since great teachers like Guru Rinpoche and Tsongkhapa and the Venerable Atisha are all imitations of the one Lama or the one spiritual teacher, it makes no sense to say that we would have faith in this one and not in that one. And even though in Tibetan Buddhism we do have different religious schools or traditions such as the Nyingma and Gelug, in terms of their fundamental basis or principle, there's no difference between them. And in actual fact, if a Lama is a qualified Lama, then it doesn't matter whether they are from the Gelug tradition or the Nyingma or the Jonang tradition. There is no difference between them and there's no need to differentiate between them. As for myself, I have studied Buddhism now for more than 30 years.
Tani tarta yana tani ngaso the kwarjepa tani jonginari tani the jonanga jonginari geluk tani jonginari tan lama changta jamba so ngaso nyama maimbi lama changta jamba so tani lama so tani songte la pe mambo tani 베스타시니 호중 제게 요새 다다.
And even now, texts and works that were composed by lamas of other, that is, non-Nyingma traditions, such as texts from the Kagyu or Jonang or Gelug traditions, I still read, I still study.
근데 대소라더니 소소랑 같더니 로종지 드리시 용의 값을 더니 셈나 빼 할리바 판도야 보 용거도.
And by studying these texts, they bring great benefit to the mind.
대마도 가서 영마 같더니 대 배잘았다나 나랑 그 셈라더니 판도 용야다 더니 겔다 잠바 같더니 종라다나 셈라 판바 메야 드리 싸와니 말해서 소소랑 냠용 그 돈이잖아 드리 싸와니 말해서.
It's by no means the case that only when I read Nyingma text that I derive benefit, but not when I read Gelug text. This is absolutely not the case. It's not my experience either.
Then 가서 망속 되니 냠린라 되니 삼로다나 데리경 가서 되니 얘가 짜와니고 말에 강 냠섬린다 되니 찍바랑 그래서 망속 냠린 가서 년때 냥마 같더니 라마 같더니 추소나 알아서 년나 냠린지나 조금도 대마임비 길을 조나 강인나 캬퍼스 짜와니면 되니 캬퍼 마모디시나 되니 데라 김슨 지지요 말해서.
And among ordinary practitioners, there's even less need to, or even less justification to differentiate between teachers or different sectarian traditions. If it's a Nyingma teacher, we can listen to their teachings and practice Nyingma practices. Same too for Gelug teachers and practices and Jonam teachers and Jonam practices. There's no difference between them and there's no justification for differentiating.
Then, certain soso tapayo mendrao, dindi chapertini lama kashila tapa mepandrao da dindi yona tansi, marana soso semganala, samson ramandari, dindi yona tansi.
It's possible, of course, that people will feel faith for some lamas and perhaps not so much faith for the others. This is possible that this might take place due to the different ideas and preferences of individuals.
Then, te yona chokorezi, tenga soso rangla tini, gewa ngamani tini njewa yung lama da tetsola, rana soso la pe sabarta tini tapayo pandrao, dindi da tsangmala yogori da te tsamla, tenga so shori zega maresi, te yona kyonga maresi.
And this is okay. It's completely fine if one has a particularly strong faith for a teacher that one had a connection to in a previous life. This is, we don't consider this to be prejudice or one-sided.
Dindi ending aso tini ta pena aso bonjala samlo tambaye na tini pairla yuikasa susu tini aso jongba riri la tini gomba riri tini mesa chikyam yo mare dindi endi susu nyangma yenare korang gomba yore gelugena korang gomba yore aso mangso samala susu rang gomba yore se bola yuikasa.
Inside Tibet, in our hometowns, there is no village without its own monastery. So every place has its own monastery. There are Nyingma monasteries and Gelug monasteries. Every place, every location has their own monastery.
The ina dan also been American down the Lila Yung Savi Caps, dan also Susula the Pire down Shini, Nyama Gomba, Gelug Gomba, Tasu, Tuntari, Gomba Siri. Did you gonna think also did you chat in your mares? Did you go bambo?
However, here in America, where we are no longer in our native places, we simply don't have the conditions for every sectarian tradition to have their own monastery. There's just not the conditions to have as many monasteries as this.
Did you say that in now, also to Chukang, Laman Sanyi, Dambazi in Sarti, the Lama so Somba Chudi Gala and Langazum, Tapayo Jana, so same Latin, Pantota, Matokotola, Capricciam Mare.
So, regardless of what tradition they come from, so long as it's a qualified teacher, then if one is able to have faith in them, then there is no benefit in terms of the benefit that the teachings will bring your mind.
That didn't also Tomra didn't also Jantala in Shori Mepatia pose go raise it, and it also there on the church teni nangton ngoma teni shakayens.
So the first thing that I wanted to mention was this, the importance of not having a prejudiced approach to different religious traditions, and I'd like to now go on with the main topic of this afternoon's teaching.
Teni tangazo chudeni nyamlin jibi kapsbena ngazo bodrai nare te ngazo terandena lan rupayon teni rupayna polina kam yena teni to tangazo 상마 당보니 되니 머르티 상마 되니 나우출라 되니 다파 신큰 보충충 연주 다 상마 다파 되니 나우출라 다파 신큰 그 되니 그 머르 묵서와 되니 레스.
So in terms of the practice of Buddhism, we Tibetans, and also we have some Bhutanese members of the audience too today, our people is one in which everybody has Buddhist faith. So everyone, beginning with small children upwards, have faith in Buddhism, and so therefore we are a special people.
yang teni mangsok ko chi gom jagya data teni mangsok ko teni lojong teni chia data ya to so te kombores.
However, in terms of practice inside Tibet, for ordinary people, meditation and chances to study the Dharma are relatively scarce.
Tangazo penangazo bola yo pikas tini ta mercha pomo tini chudna pena tini manandoya ta satondoya ta tini kora gyap chendra ta tam yanangazo tini ta hasala tini jamshak perni ro indra ta tini go korati gesa tisu korati zo shi gerezi na mangso pina.
So inside Tibet, for most lay people, their way of practicing is to do recitations and circumambulations, perhaps prostrate their way to Lhasa and accumulate merit in these ways.
Teni tiso tamchipo pe teni gesa teni lapchipo re pe haripa teni gesa yapores yinayang tangaso darong tele kyang tezi teni gesa tang zapon rao teni mangso ko nyamlin jena 아주 망속고 된디 냠린지 초초 라무요레스.
Even though these activities generate extremely great roots of merit, it's also lay people can also engage in activities that generate merit of an even more deeper and profound level.
Then Jete yena teni ngazo mangso konala gum yapchundata teni mangso konala longjong chesandawota tesu korate te teni yongyong rawo teni tarnaso logic tola tenjin rawo yena tarta yena tenga tutela gerchu yamni mangso koyang teni longjong yakpocheyata teni mangso koyang teni tasoso kitsutang teni tenni gum yapya te yendamanda gondus.
So even though these are practices that ordinary lay people can engage in terms of the history of Tibet, lay meditation practice and study of the Dharma have only been relatively scarce. However, at the moment we are attempting to change things and saying that lay study and lay meditation are needed.
Teni ngazo poka nangla yena nikton simgalo ni teni ta mansok panala gomjala ta mansok teni samla deanda teni kala kansam teni jegyo rezi yena tarta yena taro halipa ja chimbo ta shikin chimbo teni menduk.
Inside Tibet, beginning in 2003, there was some beginning of encouraging lay people to meditate and go on retreat. However, so far this hasn't really become something of a really great scope.
Teni chu woman number tapati drivna ngato drivya woman ngato same theories.
And when we are doing proper or religious practice, ultimately what we are working on is our mind.
Tene ngaso libu toni gewa dune pena shang sarya ta kora jawa ta tindi chena tene gersa re